Hello everyone, and welcome to my YNR Official 24 channel. Nick is going to have a meeting with Jack. People want to know what kind of deal Nick is making for Matt. Nick Newman is planning to visit Jack Abbott in private. He wants to talk about his deal concerning Matt Clark. Victor will not agree with Jack. He will tell Jack to leave his property and take Matt with him. This will happen in the week of January 12th to 16th. Victor Newman does not want to make a deal with Jack Abbott. So he will send Jack away from his place with Matt. Nick Newman is still trying to make a deal for Matt Clark. To be fair, Victor has a lot of things to think about, like the AI program that is turning on Newman Enterprises and causing big problems from the inside. The thing is, Victor is not in control of the software anymore, so he cannot use it to make a deal for Matt. At some point, Nick will find out that Matt is staying with the Abbotts. When Nick gets all the information, he will decide to take charge and handle things his way, which is what Nick usually does when it comes to the people he cares about, like Matt and the whole situation with Matt and the Abbotts. Nick may leave the hospital even if the doctors do not think it is an idea. The doctors have not said Nick can go home yet. He might leave the hospital anyway. Nick wants to talk to Matt about what's going on and fix things. So, Nick is going to meet with Jack. Nick is going to meet with Jack without telling Sharon Newman about it. Nick does not want Sharon Newman to know something on January 15th. Nick is eager to take care of the Matt situation. Nick wants to do it quickly. Nick plans to meet with Jack. Then Nick will try to fix things with Matt. Sharon will find that Nick is not in his hospital bed, and she will figure out that Nick has gone to take care of something. Nick has left to deal with this problem for all. Then Nick will talk to Jack. Ask for his help. According to YNR spoilers, Nick will ask Jack to work with him. Nick wants to stop Matt from doing things right now. Nick might say that they need to stop Matt before he can do anything bad. Nick thinks that Matt is a threat, and they need to eliminate Matt's threat immediately. Nick might think that prison is not enough for Matt, and that Matt deserves a tougher punishment. It is also possible that Nick has learned something from the car crash. Trying to deal with Matt on his own has not worked well, so Nick might tell Jack to go to the police with the information about Matt. Nick could be thinking that the police should handle the situation with Matt. Naturally, there's a possibility that Matt could escape again if there's a significant delay. Matt is always full of surprises, so it will be intriguing to see if more alarming developments are on the horizon. In any case, Nick might attempt to negotiate his own deal regarding Matt with Jack, especially since the AI program exchange might no longer be an option. Nick's secret, Mariah's sin, Michael confronted. So Diane Jenkins Abbott is talking to Michael Baldwin now. Mariah Copeland is getting ready to do something bad. Let us keep reading and talk about what's happening in the CBS soap opera. Victor Newman is going to be completely surprised. Before we find out what happens in 2 weeks, let us see what is coming up during the week of January 12th. Kane Ashby and Phyllis Summers are going to visit Victor Newman. I was reading about what's happening with the people at Newman Enterprises. Kane is there. He is listening to what Phyllis is saying to Victor. Phyllis tells Victor that they are in charge of Newman Enterprises now. Victor looks really surprised. Just sits there. Phyllis tells him that there is nothing he can do about it. Nick Newman is trying to keep a secret from Sharon Newman. I think this secret might have something to do with where Nick goes after he leaves the hospital. Nick goes to see Jack Abbott. When Nick talks to Jack Abbott, he finds out that Jack and Kyle Abbott caught Matt Clark. Victor did not want to make a deal with them. Nick's main concern is keeping his family safe from Matt. Nick will not be pleased with Victor. Asterisk, Nick wants to protect his family from Matt. Asterisk, this is very important to Nick. As for Noah Newman, he finds out something about Matt. This is probably about Victor saying no to Jack's offer. Since Noah Newman came back, he has not gotten along with his father. Noah Newman and his father will agree that Victor is making choices that are dangerous. Meanwhile, Adam Newman and Victoria Newman are trying to fix things at the office. They want to make sure everything is okay at the office. Adam Newman and Victoria Newman are working hard to do damage control at the office because of Victor. Tessa Porter has to make a hard choice. Tessa Porter is going to have a talk with Sharon. Tessa Porter still cares about Mariah a lot. She cannot keep going through all this pain. Sharon will probably understand why Tessa Porter needs to get a divorce. Tessa Porter is very sad about this. Meanwhile, Mariah will keep doing what Ian Ward tells her to do. In the 2 weeks, something big might happen on The Young and the Restless. The show spoilers for the week of January 19th say that Mariah might take Dominic Newman Abbott Winter's Chancellor away from his family. Elsewhere, Tessa will continue to get closer to Daniel Romalotti, Jr. Phyllis won't like it, but Daniel is a grown man. Also, Jack and Victor will be forced to make an alliance in the near future. Could that mean they have to join forces to stop Matt from causing mayhem? Nick Newman has been having a meeting with Jack Abbott. The people who watch The Young and the Restless are really wondering what is going on. They want to know what kind of deal Nick Newman is making for Matt. Is it something crazy or something that will surprise everyone? Nick Newman is doing this behind everyone's back, so it must be big. The fans of The Young and the Restless are trying to figure out what Nick Newman is up to with Jack Abbott and what this means for Matt. In this town, people do not always do what they say they will do. Betraying someone is a thing. Family members often have to choose between helping each other or helping themselves. So when Nick goes to talk to Jack, it is a deal. Nick and Jack have known each other for a time, and they have a very complicated past. They have been rivals, have not always gotten along. Sometimes they have had to work together when things got really tough. They even have a respect for each other, even though they do not always show it. The Nick and Jack thing is an issue because of their history together. Nick and Jack have a lot of problems with each other. Nick has always thought of himself as the person in the Newman family. He is the one who says no to Victor when he does something. Nick is also a father, and he will do anything to keep his child safe. If Matt is in trouble or if someone is trying to hurt him, Nick will not follow his rules. He will do whatever it takes to protect Matt no matter what the Newman family rules are. Nick will fight to keep Matt safe and free. He will make sure Matt has a good future. The Newman family rules do not matter when it comes to Matt's safety. Nick will break those rules to protect his child, Matt. The fact that the meeting is secret tells us that this is not a normal talk or a friendly visit. It seems like something big is going on. The secrecy of the meeting suggests that it is about something important and serious. The meeting is a matter that involves a lot of risk and careful planning. This could affect families at the same time. The secrecy of the meeting makes me think that it is a very serious and urgent matter. Jack is used to making deals, especially when it has to do with the Newmans. If Nick is talking to Jack secretly without telling Victor, that means Nick is hiding something from his father. This thing with Matt is something that Nick does not want Victor to know about. Nick is afraid to tell Victor, or he is trying to keep it away from Victor's control. Jack knows that Victor has a lot of power, and Nick might be trying to protect himself or someone else from Victor. The Newmans are a part of this, and Jack is right in the middle of it. The situation gets really serious when you think about Jack Abbott. He does not do favors for free. If Nick is making a deal with Jack Abbott, then Nick will have to pay for it. This price could hurt Nick personally, affect his company, or be very emotional. What is Nick giving to Jack Abbott? Is Nick telling Jack Abbott something? Is Nick asking Jack Abbott to keep him safe? Is Nick promising to stop fighting with Jack Abbott? Is Nick asking Jack Abbott to use his power, money, or friends to keep Matt safe from trouble, the law, or Victor's control? The idea that Matt is in the middle of a negotiation is a big deal. It means that Matt is in a spot. He is either in trouble being used to get to someone, or he knows something that could hurt people with power. When you look at Nick during the meeting, you can tell he does not want to be. He looks nervous and on edge. This is a man who feels like he has to be, not because he wants to, but because he is scared and feels responsible. Matt is the key to all of this. It seems like Matt is the one with the power, even if he does not realize it. Matt being in this position raises a lot of questions about what's really going on. Jack is a person who listens a lot and does not talk that much. This is something that the Abbott family is known for. They do this so they can think about how they can use the information to their advantage. Jack wants to use this information against the Newmans. He also wants to use it against Victor. Jack really likes to outsmart Victor. The things that happen after this meeting will affect a lot of people in Genoa City. It is hard to know what will happen because it is all very unpredictable. If people find out what really happened, it will cause a lot of problems. The truth always comes out in this town. Secrets do not stay secret for long in Genoa City. Jack and the Newmans and Victor will all be affected by what happens. Victor is going to be really mad when he finds out what his son did. His son made a deal with the person who's always against Victor. This will make Victor very angry. If Victor thinks his son made a mistake that will hurt their family's power, he will be furious. The family could get hurt because of what his son did with Matt. At the time, Nikki, Sharon, and Phyllis will probably get involved in this problem. They will have to choose who to support or help Nick when everything starts to go. Sharon might think that Nick is getting really overwhelmed by the problems that Matt is dealing with. This could make Sharon want to look into it, and she might even find out what is really going on before Nick is ready to talk about it. Meanwhile, Phyllis is a bit unpredictable. She might see this situation as a way to get what she wants. She could try to use it to get an advantage. She could try to make things happen in a way that helps her, especially if people find out that Jack is involved in it. The situation with Nick and Jack is really big because if Nick has said he will do something for Jack that involves Newman Enterprises, it can cause a lot of problems. This is because it can upset the balance of power between the two companies, which is already not very strong. If this happens, it could lead to one company trying to take over the other or people trying to hurt each other's businesses. It could also lead to companies forming partnerships, which can change very quickly. The corporate implications of Nick promising Jack something tied to Newman Enterprises are just as big. It is all about Newman Enterprises and what Nick has promised Jack about Newman Enterprises. Let us not forget Adam, who would definitely think that Nick's secret deal is a weakness and a chance for Adam to do something. This is especially true if it shows that Victor is not in control like he seems to be, or if it gives Adam a chance to be the son while Nick looks bad to Victor. Adam would see this as a way to get ahead. Nick's secret deal would be the reason for it. Adam would think that Nick is not loyal to Victor, and this would be a problem for Nick. The main thing that is really getting to me about this story is Matt. Matt is still a mystery, and that is what is making everything so scary. I do not know what is going on with Matt. Is Matt in trouble because of something Matt did or something Matt knows? Is Matt in trouble just because of the people Matt is connected to? Nick is really worried. That makes me think something bad is happening to Matt right now. It could be something with the law or some bad people, or maybe something that has already gone far and nobody can stop it without some help from outside. Matt is the one I'm really concerned about. Jack is willing to meet with Matt. That tells us he thinks Matt's situation is useful to him. Maybe Jack wants to use Matt's situation to get what he wants from someone, or maybe he wants to be the hero and help Matt out. If Jack does that, it will make him look better than Victor. That will make things harder for them when they disagree in the future. As time goes on, things are going to get more tense. Every time Nick looks at someone secretly, or makes a phone call, or makes a decision that does not make sense, the people around him are going to get more suspicious of him. Matt's situation and Jack's actions are going to make people wonder what is really going on. The truth is going to come out, and when it does, people will want to know what kind of deal Nick made with Jack. They will also want to know if this deal really helped Matt, or if it made things worse for him. The big question is whether Nick's deal with Jack will put the people Nick loves in danger. The people Nick loves are in danger. Nick's deal with Jack might make it even worse for them. In classic The Young and the Restless fashion, this storyline promises betrayal, sacrifice, and the painful realization that even the best intentions can lead to devastating consequences, leaving fans on the edge of their seats as they wait to see whether Nick's gamble will pay off or cost him everything. As if Genoa City was formerly stewing with pressure, the shockwaves from Nick Newman's secret meeting with Jack Abbott continue to spread, heightening the riddle and raising the stakes to nearly unsupportable situations, because the further suckers suppose about it, the clearer it becomes that this was just a quiet discussion between two rivals, but a calculated, high-threat move that could permanently alter the power dynamics of the young and the restless. The secretiveness alone suggests that Nick believes the verity would be explosive enough to shatter trust, destroy alliances, and conceivably end connections that have taken decades to make. Nick has always been portrayed as the Newman who tries to balance strength with heart, yet this plot pushes him into darker, murkier home, where moral lines blur and survival instincts take over, all for the sake of Matt. What makes this indeed more absorbing is the haunting possibility that Matt himself may not completely understand how deeply he's entangled in a dangerous web spun by grown-ups with far too important power, plutocrat, and history. However, Also, Nick's fear isn't just paternal concern, but a consummation that an innocent life could be contributory damage in a war that predates him, if Matt is being used as influence. Jack Abbott, meanwhile, is playing the long game, and longtime observers know that Jack's calm surface frequently masks a storm of strategic thinking. Every word Nick uttered in that secret meeting is likely being replayed in Jack's mind, counted for its implicit value, and stored for unborn use. Jack's provocations are especially interesting then, because while he has disaccorded plaintively with Victor Newman for times, he has also shown moments of genuine compassion, particularly when children are involved, making it tantalizingly unclear whether he sees Matt as someone to cover or a tool to emplace at the perfect moment. This nebulosity is what makes the plot so compelling, because it keeps observers guessing whether Jack will eventually be Nick's doubtful supporter or his most dangerous mistake. As rumors of the meeting begin to circulate, it's only a matter of time before sharp-eyed characters like Phyllis Summers start connecting the blotches, and when Phyllis senses a secret, she no way lets it go, especially when Jack is involved. Phyllis could interpret Nick's conduct as a treason, a power play, or indeed impersonality, depending on how the verity is framed, and her response alone could enkindle chaos, given her tendency to act first and consider consequences laterally. At the same time, Sharon's intuitive understanding of Nick might push her to defy him directly, seeing that he's carrying a burden too heavy to bear alone, and this battle could come one of the most emotionally charged moments of the plot, forcing Nick to choose between honesty and protection. However, indeed incompletely, it could shift the balance dramatically, if Nick confides in Sharon. But passing in anyone is a threat, because formerly further people know the verity. The chances of Victor discovering the deal increase exponentially, and Victor Newman isn't a man who tolerates secrets, especially those that involve his children and his adversaries. The bare idea that Nick went behind Victor's back to negotiate with Jack would feel like an insupportable treason to Victor, potentially driving a ruthless counterattack designed to reassert control and remind everyone who truly runs the Newman conglomerate. Victor might see Matt not as a child in need of protection, but as a vulnerability, a weak point that Nick foolishly exposed, and that cold assessment could lead to opinions that scarify indeed Victor's own abettors. Adam, ever vigilant and ambitious, could seize on this chaos as an occasion to place himself as Victor's most dependable son, still undermining Nick while intimately expressing concern, a classic Adam move that adds another subcast of peril to the situation. The commercial counteraccusations of Nick's secret deal are inversely unsettling because any pledge Nick made to Jack could involve Newman Enterprises, indeed if Nick believes he can control the fallout. Jack could demand inside information, influence over a crucial decision, or indeed a temporary armistice that benefits Abbott interests while leaving Newman Enterprises vulnerable to external pitfalls. Such a move could shoot shockwaves through the business world of Genoa City, intimidating board members, investors, and rivals who smell insecurity and move in for the kill. Lily, Devin, and other power players could find themselves replying to shifts they don't completely understand, creating a domino effect of dubitation and strategic displacing that turns the commercial geography into a battleground. Yet, beneath all the power plays and commercial maneuvering, the emotional heart of the story remains sorrowfully mortal because Nick's conduct stemmed from fear, guilt, and love, feelings that make him relatable indeed as he makes decreasingly questionable choices. The possibility that Matt is facing legal trouble, blackmail, or indeed physical peril adds urgency to every scene, making observers feel Nick's despair with each decision he makes. Was Matt constrained into commodity illegal? Does he hold substantiation that could bring down a major figure? Or is he being targeted simply because of his connection to important families who see him as expendable? Each possibility opens the door to darker stories, including pitfalls, hijackings, or shocking backstabbings that could review characters suckers aloud. They knew. Jack's part as implicit protection or bloodsucker becomes more complex with each fleeting moment, especially if he begins to authentically watch about Matt's well-being, creating internal conflict between his desire to strike back at Victor and his conscience. However, it could mark a turning point in his character bow. But if he chooses strategy over empathy, if Jack chooses compassion over vengeance, As the secret meeting looms over Genoa City like a ticking time lemon, indeed minor relations take on new meaning, with every regard and every cryptic comment intimating that commodity monumental is about to be revealed. The pressure builds as suckers anticipate